Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. Today, I wanted to talk about a release over the last couple days and how it relates to law of attraction and how it just literally released overnight. So I'm in this, and everybody's in different circumstances, and we all have these different agreements with other people, other immortal beings that we're playing this great game with. So you are, in summary, an immortal being in a timeless reality that crystallized into human form and purposely forgot. Don't forget that you purposely forgot so that you could play a great game from a different point of view with a whole bunch of your friends, so that you could realize different aspects of yourself from different points of view. So if you're a highly sexual person or a highly creative person, you put these challenges in the way within your life so that you could go through them and see yourself from a new point of view and have the challenge of going through them and getting the things that you wanted, or getting that contract, or painting this thing, or having and finding this lover, or going to Vegas and having fun, or going to this retreat somewhere in the world and being very peaceful, is to realize yourself on this point of view. And all that journey and all these other entities that you interact with are people that you've had, entities in a higher level that you've had agreements with, to experience each other in this lifetime. And your friends and your family, close and immediate, are some of the ones that you have played even more and more games with that are more relevant to your experience. So, with that said, releasing these things that might be in the way for law of attraction. For instance, I've had something that I released yesterday, and in releasing it and realizing that the people that I released it with were as much giving to me as I was giving to them, and I was very humbled by this realization. And I am recognizing them as immortal beings in a timeless reality. Now, they don't recognize this idea in the way that I recognize it. And some of them don't have short tempers, but they have very low attention spans and require a lot and over attention. And I've been there, and I've been very sick, and they've been very helpful. So I've done the same in kind, and by recognizing that they were immortal beings and that I was a mortal being, and I was there to be of service to them as much as they were to be of service to me, and that I should chill out and be grateful. I was filled with much in the way of unconditional love. I had a very large release of energy and burden, because sometimes I wouldn't be as patient. I'm exceptionally patient. But I wasn't as patient as I could have been. There was more room to be more patient, and I have made room for all of that room, and I'm exceptionally more patient the last couple days. And in doing so and recognizing them and stepping back, instantly a transformation. I slept like a baby last night. Last night, like at 10:30, I had an inquiry for some services, and I had a half-hour conversation. And then in the morning, I have a payment waiting for me in my email with, they don't want a contract or anything, here's some money, I love everything that you talked about, and let's go ahead and get this done. And then I had another payment already there from another person, and then another contract closed that day as well for another type of service. And I'm like, well then. And it was all in this idea of law of attraction, that what you put out is what you're getting back. And even though you're putting these types of ideas out, and maybe you're meditating and you're doing these things and you're concentrating on wanting a certain type of thing, these other energetics, not being as kind as you could, or because you are getting interruptions from these other types of things that are coming into your experience. For instance, if something is bugging you over and over again, if you're not being as kind as you can, and maybe you're not as patient, this is an interruption in energy and the flow of things coming to you. So you are remagnetizing yourself to that parallel reality, and it's reflecting back to you over and over and over. So once you release that and you're more kind or more patient, or you recognize things in other people that you're reflecting out, and you're okay with them, now you've released that energy, and the energy of these new types of ideas, other things and people and places that you want can come to you. So it really is critical on clearing your energy, however you want to do that. There's meditation, then have some sex if you want. I mean, any number of things, by yourself or with a partner. Either way is just get it done. And stepping back, you can do color baths to work on chakra centers, meditations, go do some group yoga or individuated yoga. Be out in nature is a fantastic way. So there's infinite amount of ways to do a clearing. Having coaching sessions, going in for counseling and to group sessions. I mean, it's whatever you can do to clear this stuff out on whatever you think your process and whatever's most exciting is for you. But it is clearing it out, because if you have this other stuff in the way, the things that you want can't get to you. And it's also about backing off of the things that you want, is to muse over them, toil over them, but don't be rigid in the way that they can come to you. So if I want a vacation and I need $5,000 to go to do this vacation, and you're thinking, well, I don't have my $5,000 yet, so I can't go on vacation. Not the way to approach it. It's musing over the vacation itself and having the idea of how fun it would be, and going here and going there. Maybe a friend won a vacation and they can't go, or your company says, hey, we have a new client in this destination, and we're going to pay for you to go. And you're like, hey, could I take my vacation time and stay an extra week? They're like, oh yeah, that's good. That's all good. We'd like to have you develop other leads there while you're there. So you don't know. The human mind can't work these things out. Get your brain out of the way and you will realize more manifestation. Was there anything else that wanted to share? Getting out of your own way is really the more critical thing than anything else. And the 50-50 scale is the last thing that I'll share. If you're more on the things that are not here and what is self-evident now in this parallel reality, then you're going to realize those. If you start tipping it to the things and musing over, then it tips and you have more of those things and more manifestation. And it's a very small snowball going downhill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because as time goes on, it builds momentum, and then you're magnetizing more and more of yourself to those timelines and parallel realities. So the idea there is that there's an infinite amount of parallel realities all happening concurrently, that you're an immortal being in a timeless reality, you're a part of all that is, and you have infinite potential, and everything coexist together, and they're just differentiated frequencies. When you use the power of your mind to keep musing and toiling and having fun over these ideas that might manifest, you are magnetizing yourself to these specific timelines and parallel realities, and you are, as a consciousness, slipstreaming out of the ones that you're getting into your experience, and you're going into the ones that you prefer. And it's like a snowball. Once you get into a parallel reality track, you can always go different places, but there is like momentum, like the snowball going downhill. Once you're in an eddy, it gets harder and harder as you're going faster and faster, where it becomes almost inevitable to where you're going. So if a car is just coming down the hill and it's just starting to go, and you stop it when it's 5-10 miles per hour, it doesn't take as much effort. But once it's 5, 10, 20, 40, 50, the car is doing what it's going to be doing, and it's not impossible, but it's extraordinarily difficult to get it to do anything else because of the momentum. You're a lot different than a car. You're an infinite immortal being, but it's hard when you have so much momentum and a thought and an idea to start practicing others, and finding permission slips and ways to do that is the most critical thing that you can ever do for yourself, to see wider and more broader and more interesting manifestation. So in a very short amount of time, like things that I have been working on and new things just poof, popped up, and people sent me money, and I had released all this stuff, and today is a good day, and all is well in the universe. And I just think that that's a prime example of examining your belief systems and digging into issues that are getting in the way of your core manifestations, because the energy blockages from these other things that might be getting in the way are definitely things that could be interrupting the flow of what can come to you, because it's like you're constantly tripping or stubbing your toe, and it's a distraction from focusing on the things that you want. So clearing out your energy as much as possible from these other distractions, and just being focused on what you want is really more than anything, and not to not measure things. Well, if it didn't come in 7 days or 30 days or a year or whatever, it's once you back off of that, it has a chance of coming anytime because you limit it. If you say I want it in 7, 10 days, a year, you now limit how and when it can come to you, and then you lose your momentum when those dates happen to go past, where it can come to you faster than what you're thinking if you let off of the idea of how fast it should come to you. Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching, life, business, and spiritual. Also retreats, boys and girls, don't forget retreats. In the description down below, there are tons of things going on. Links to all my websites, personal point of contact, email address, social media, other people that you might find interesting. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me.